Hi, I'm Jasmine, the sequel, and I am not relatable. So, this is awkward. So this is actually, I think, a really important conversation that as a community, I think we need to have. You might be wondering, as a reaction channel slash commentary channel slash critical person on the internet, why are you making this video? Obviously, I fall into the hater nation category, so this video doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I came across a series of videos that really got me thinking. So a little while ago, I'd fallen down a rabbit hole and I was watching a whole bunch of things, and I got a little recommended video that popped up by a creator by the name of Rose Analysis. And I watched some of their videos and I thought, interesting. And then a little while ago, as you guys know, another creator by the name of Megan Ann came on the scene and talked about how we should just stop talking about Amberlynn. And I thought about it and I thought, interesting. And then a few days after that, I got the most interesting video of them all. Jarvis Johnson's video talking about Jake Paul and Cody Co. That has nothing to do with this community. But that video really did illuminate some of the feelings and thoughts that I had about it. So I thought, well, why don't I talk about bullying and criticism, the difference between the two, and this community, the hater community, as it were. So to set the tone, if you are one of the very few people here who don't actually watch any of my Amberlynn or Chantal, any of that sort of video, any of that sort of content, Amberlynn and Chantal are both essentially very obese women on the internet, and they primarily do mukbangs. Now, that's not the reason that I talk about them. Their weight is not the reason that I talk about them. I talk about them because they are people who have a troubled history with eating the way that I do, and the way that they seem to be dealing with it is by monetizing their eating addiction and putting it online. And that bothers me. There's a lot about the situation that bothers me. There's actually a lot about just monetizing eating addictions overall that irritates me, which is why I talk so heavily about the body positivity slash fat activism world as well. And the thing is that both Amberlynn and Chantal like to accuse us, all of us, all the haters, of being bullies, which confuses me. Is it a little bit mean, maybe, to talk about people? Okay, maybe. Our criticisms may be a little bit harsh. Maybe you are right about that. I think that's subjective. But they're public figures. I hate to say this, but it unfortunately comes with the territory of being on YouTube. Now, before we really jump into why I don't think that the videos are bullying, spoiler alert, I don't think a lot of the videos made about Amberlynn and Chantal are bullying. But I want to talk first about our dear girls themselves, right? Both Chantal and Amberlynn have at various points in their YouTube career and overall life expressed a lot of behaviors that one would consider bullying. For example, Chantal has mocked somebody for having a long nose, threatened to call Child Protective Services on someone, cheated on her fiance, then broke up with him. There's a lot of other smaller examples too. I mean, for one thing, she loves copyright striking people, am I right? But, you know, those are all behaviors that can be seen as something that a bully would do. And I don't want anyone coming at me and saying that cheating is not a form of bullying. I would have to very, very carefully say I very highly disagree. I think cheating is done by extremely terrible people, because if you love someone, care about them, or hold any amount of respect for them, you wouldn't be breaking their heart at every turn and not caring about that. Okay. Amberlynn, meanwhile, has misgendered somebody on purpose, by the way. It's been pointed out to her multiple times, has engaged in many acts of casual animal cruelty, has, I'm not 100% sure if she cheated on Casey, but that's the way that Casey's video made it sound as well. And last but not least, let's not forget that she has accused somebody, falsely I believe, of rape. Once more, displays a clear pattern of behavior on her part as well that would indicate to me bullying. Despite engaging in this kind of behavior individually, they both seem to think that the only reason people criticize them is for the clout, so that they can build channels off of their names. including, by the way, people like Tom Harlock and Primink. So, no, it's not actually true. That's a very infantile understanding of what criticism actually is. Most of the creators that I have seen talking about them are just, they're making jokes, okay? They're poking a little bit of fun. Yeah, maybe the jokes are a little mean-spirited and maybe they push it a little bit too far, but they are essentially just making jokes at Amber and Chantal's expense. And I'm sorry, but if you are a public figure, which is what they are, you have to expect that. Should we ask people to be better? Maybe, but that's not a guarantee. And if you're displaying abhorrent behavior, you should learn to expect it. So let's circle back, right? I'd mentioned Megan Ann and Rose Analysis in the beginning. And when I saw their videos, it really got me thinking, well, are we actually engaging in bullying behaviors? Everything I said before is kind of just my opinion, right? And I wanted to know if they were right. Now, as you guys know, there's like an entire anti-hater movement happening online. People who hate the haters, which is fine. I don't think anybody is above criticism, and I don't think that anyone is above reproach. But much unlike the anti-haters, I think a lot of the haters aren't actually coming from a place of bullying. And let me explain why I think that. A bully is a person who seeks to harm someone who they perceive as vulnerable. Criticism is the expression of disapproval of someone or something based on a perceived fault or mistake. So, anti-haters, people like Peanut, for example, and honestly the Gaining Ground as well, a lot of their rhetoric seems to come down to just pure faffery. I don't like you because I don't like you. I don't like you because you don't like me. I don't like you because you're Jewish. I don't like you because you are Charlie Cole, right? That is bullying. That is, I would say that is not an acceptable way to behave. Even if it doesn't reach the level of bullying, it's definitely not criticism. Criticism would be telling Chantal that, hey, you were saying you've got IBS and you're going to get all these expensive tests done, but you haven't tried any of the other things that could potentially resolve your problem, like not eating like 4 pounds of cheese when you don't have a gallbladder. That's criticism. That's a mistake on her part, right? She's not displaying terrible behavior in that one. There's a lot of other things that she has done that I think she really does deserve all of the criticism for, but that's criticism. We're not bullying her. Now, one of the biggest tenets of it being bullying is whether or not a person is perceived as being vulnerable. Chantal loves to say that because she is obese, you know, she's not a protected class, but she should be. And because she's obese, people mock her. But a lot of the reactors, myself included, are people who are in that sort of realm. And more to the point, I think Charlie Gold and OnProgramSituation, two of the bigger voices in this movement, are actually people who've been morbidly obese themselves and have suffered the consequences. So if you're talking about punching down, I don't think that makes any sense. Charlie might have a bigger channel, but it's not that much bigger than Chantal, and it's significantly smaller than Amberlynn's. And OnProgramSituation's channel is significantly smaller than all the other creators there, right? All three of them have significantly larger followings than OPS has. So they're not punching down. If anything, they're punching at their level, or in Val's situation, she's punching up. Chantal and Amber, however, frequently punch down. So Chantal will go into the comment section of smaller channels, post to smaller channels and ask her massive YouTube following of 81,000 people to go harass, report, and bully them off the platform. She's already done that to Miss Lori Gloria. That's punching down. Calling somebody's face stew, that's punching down. Saying that she has 10th size underwear, that's punching at your level. I'm sorry, but the bigger you get, the harder the punches come. Amberlynn does this very same thing. She made that false rape accusation against Casey, and then she also had another time where she accused her aunt of being fatphobic and stopped talking to her because she was fat. Both of these people don't have a platform where they can get on and defend themselves. So she's essentially punching down at people because she thinks that they won't notice that she's doing it. I'm sure that if and when Chantal and Amber become aware of my channel, they're going to think of me as being a bully. They're going to think that I'm cyberbullying them, despite the fact that I'm a significantly smaller channel. And as to date, I have made little to no money. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying little. I have made no money as of now based on them at all. I'm purely doing this because I want to. But that's not how they're going to see it. And if they ever put me on blast in front of their audience, a lot of whom are still fans, and the fans come after me, they're going to think of that as being, well, I was just defending myself, not realizing that as a much smaller channel, they are in fact punching down, whereas I'm punching significantly up. Most of us have significantly less reach, less power, less resources than both of these ladies have to their disposal. So they're not vulnerable. Maybe they think they are because of their fat, but no, most of us are fat too. If anything, I would say that cancels each other out, don't you think? The only thing that makes them vulnerable is their behavior. And unfortunately, that puts them in the realm of criticism. Last but not least, conflating these two issues, I think, really puts us in this weird situation where we are giving them a free pass for bad behavior. A lot of what Amberlynn and Chantal do is not particularly egregious. They haven't like murdered anybody or, for example, walked through a Japanese suicide forest and filmed the dead body. That being said, it doesn't mean that their behavior is understandable or excusable or even forgivable. They display some really terrible behavioral patterns. In the case of Chantal, I would say that that's definitely racism, and apparently we can add transphobia to that mix. In the case of Amberlynn, I would definitely say animal cruelty is one of those things. So not talking about it, not holding them responsible just allows them, it enables them to get away with this pattern of behavior, especially because they are profiting off of this terrible behavior. I just don't think that's acceptable, and I think that's why a lot of us offer criticism. Look, you can agree with me or not that all of the criticism that they receive is, justly deserved. I don't think everything that Chantal and Amber have thrown their way is 100% fair, but a lot of the bigger channels, from what I have seen, don't talk about her weight so much anymore. I don't think I've really ever mentioned their weight outside of how it might negatively impact their health. I don't poke fun at them. I don't call their names. I've never, made fat jokes at their expense. I don't do that shit. I talk about them because I think they're problematic. I talk about them because I think that they're glorifying a lifestyle that will lead people to ill health and eventually death. That's why I talk about them. I talk about them and I criticize them because I started off as a fan and I've become disillusioned. And I think that I'm well within my rights to do so. And I don't think I'm bullying them. And I kind of think that the definition of the words bully and criticism agree with me. That's all I have to say on that matter. So if you like this video, I know it was short and I know it was something a little bit different, but if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, you can give me a thumbs down. That's totally acceptable. I understand. I respect everybody's opinion here. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Hit the notification bell down below. If you haven't done that already, hit all if you want to know when I upload right away. Leave me a comment down below if there's something you'd like me to really know. Share with your friends. Save me from the horrors of the YouTube algorithm. I've got all my social medias linked down below. I've got Instagram where I put up basically, my food stuff, what I'm eating in a day, and also kind of like my day-to-day life. Right now, I don't go anywhere, I don't do anything, so I don't really have a life. But I do have my recipes and I'm a pretty good cook. So if you like that content, follow me there. Twitter has all of my general opinions and also like me popping off every once in a while and like channel update stuff there too. So if you want any of that content, you can follow me there. And I've got Patreon. Think of Patreon as the tip jar for the internet. So if you like the job that I'm doing and you want to toss a few coins in my direction, that's where you can do it. All of your donations to me will go directly towards keeping me in grease so that I can apply it to my face and look shiny AF for you on camera. Please keep me in grease and help a girl out. As always, I'm Jasmine, the sequel, and I am not relatable. Peace.